guys, and of course, you can start asking questions if you're interested too. What I'm thinking is, if you...
Thank you. Austin Tindle, I'm a voice actor. I'm in shows that you might have seen, and some that you probably haven't.
That about sums it up. Hi, my name is Reece and I'm a UK voice actor. I've been in such projects as Genshin Impact, Ark Knights, Sonic for Hire, and more recently the Dorky YouTube channel.
Hi, my name is Chloe Eves. I'm an actor originally from Ireland. I've been had the pleasure of being in games such as Genshin Impact, where I was Greater Lord of Nevada, Hypatia, Eremite, and a bunch of other little characters here and there, as well as Smite. I thought it was realistic, and my brain was going blank. Return, another one. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Hello, my name's Julian. I'm an alcoholic. Oh, wrong meeting. No, my name's Julian Seager. I play Jarl Gorm in Vikings. I'm Ivor in a little game called Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I don't do anime. Yet.
I try to get you into that, Julian. Hi, so I'm just coming down from a giggle fit, so I'm like crying tears of laughter. But hello, it's so nice to see so many of you here. My name is Elsie Lovelock. I'm a voice actor and a singer. Probably best known here as the singing voice of Charlie in the Has Been Hotel pilot, Mummy Longlegs in Poppy Playtime, and Uzi in Murder Drones. But I also recently had a small role in Baldur's Gate 3. I also have been in Genshin Impact. I also got to play Mimi from Digimon in a redub of the Digimon movies recently, so that was amazing. But yeah, it's so great to be here and so lovely to see you guys. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, my name is Jonah Scott. I'm a voice actor. I voice some characters you may like Lego She and Stars, and Tatsu the Immortal Dragon in Way of the House Husband, and Johnny Bolt and Super Crooks. Anybody? Yeah! Anybody? I also do video games. I voice Aiden Caldwell in Dying Light 2. I Elder Scrolls Online. I'm in a lot of stuff. You can Google us while you're here, right? You can look our names up. It's fine. Jonah Scott. It's easy. All right, cool.
I've watched all of Super Crooks, and it's a really good show.
Super Crooks is fire.
Super Crooks is really good.
It's on Netflix. You should totally watch it. Super Crooks is fire. It's 12 episodes. There's an ending. It's great. No clip.
Character is Angelo from 91 Days. Check it out. It's a Prohibition-era Chicago gangster anime, and not enough people have seen it.
My favourite story of voicing a character is Tales 2.0 in Sonic for Hire. I loved that series growing up. It was one of the things that inspired me to become a voice actor. So when they announced they were making a new season, I emailed the creators, and I think they were just sick. And this is my personal opinion of what happened. I like to imagine this happened. They were sick of people emailing in, so they eventually gave me a line. And they were like, okay, you're going to have half a line, you're going to get shot in the face and told to stop talking. And I think that's what they just wanted to be rid of me. And they were not rid of me, and I've worked with them several times since then. They will never be rid of me, and I get to say that I'm in Sonic for Hire twice now, so that's my favourite story of voicing someone in voice acting.
I'm genuinely one of those that I enjoy different reasons for so many characters. But I think one of the ones that I really enjoyed was Sylvia in a little game called Return, because the fact is that I used to play the game before I was even in it. So then I got to take over for this character, and she's really cool. She's got a motorcycle, and then she just shoots people off her motorcycle. It's very cool. Yeah, I think honestly her, and then I always enjoyed Ruka Dorada because she was, I just love her whole I'm not gonna spoil things actually. I'm ugh. I like how her story went. I'll say that. So, yes.
I don't do much voice acting, but I did the bandits in Fable, if anyone remembers Fable. So I played that game and loved it. And then they asked me to do the bandits voices. So I said, yeah, I can do that. And if you don't like Fable, I'll come and smash your face in. And those are the sort of words that I had to come up with, like, you know, and call everyone Pudding 2 Feet and stuff like that. So, and the other voice actor that I play is Yal Dawn, which is weird because it's me. But I had to go in the studio and, you know, you do the ADR and stuff. So, but yeah, watch this space. I'm going to be joining this lot doing weird anime. And I'm going to start the same as this girl started with her career. So I've watched her early work and it's very impressive.
I am not going to survive sitting next to you for this panel. Oh my god, I'm crying. To be honest, dead serious, I'm just happy to be working, in all honesty. Any job that I can do, I love it so much. I want to be doing this until I'm an old lady and my vocal cords give out, no joke. But if I had to pick a favourite, Mommy Longlegs is probably one of my favourites because she was just like so unhinged, and it's always really fun to play a crazy character. So that's one of my favourites. What about you, Jonah?
I didn't know it was Elsie when I played the game first. So, on the subject of 12-episode anime that you can watch in one sitting and then just never see again and just put it down and not have to worry about a season 2. Courier from Akudama Drive is probably my favorite character today. Akudama Drive is, yeah, there you go, awesome, we got one over here. It's basically like anime Suicide Squad. It's great. You should totally watch it. I play the I guess male lead, but it's an ensemble cast and it's really well put together and it's well made. So go watch Akudama Drive. Do it. Woohoo!
I'm going to show you how bad my words are. I'm sorry. Animo is definitely my favourite just because.
Despite the fact that I played a Hydro and a Dendro character, I would actually love to be a Lightning character. Or it's probably going to be Electro.
Next. Mine would be Pyromaniac. So it's kind of obvious. I love this thing, quiet things really. Mainly cooking. So I like my food well done.
Thank you for asking.
Okay, so my problem as a person who exists in this world is that I have a hole in my brain where the names fall out. Literally, if you've ever tried to strain pasta through a colander and you get those couple of little bits that stick to the side, that's how I remember my own name. But so that's why I can't remember a single thing about Demon Slayer past the first few episodes. But I will say, from a personal experience, I was once in a class for learning ADR. And the exercise that I did was actually dubbing over a scene with Tanjiro, which is how I remember his name. And because I don't get a lot of opportunities to dub anime being in the UK, I would say that is my favourite character just because it is one of the best dubbing scenes I've ever done. It's ostensibly a fan dub, so I can't post it anywhere, but literally it is one of my best memories of the series itself.
I do watch Demon Slayer, and I'm quite the Inosuke fan. I enjoy Inosuke a lot. He's just really unhinged, and he wears a boar helmet to cover the fact that he's actually really beautiful, so I just enjoy that. So yeah, I love the firecracker characters, which is why Bakugo is one of my favorites in My Hero, so got it.
My favourite character is Dave. He's from Demon Slayer. He's a talking microwave, and I just I just really relate to him. So that's alright.
Oh my gosh, I haven't actually watched it, I'm so sorry, but I know a lot of people in it.
Wing it!
And I'm winging it, but I honestly think, based on how much I relate to him, I think Zenitsu is probably a character that I love because he's voiced by my mate Alex, who's amazing, and I also am a nervous wreck who runs around screaming when I can't find my keys or something like that, so I totally relate to him. but I'm so sorry I haven't actually watched it. But it looks amazing. I have like 1,000 anime on my list that I need to watch, so I promise I'll get to all these one day. But what about you, Jonah?
I'm biased. Before I even auditioned for the character, Kokushibo was my favorite character in the show, and I voice him now, which is bonkers. Because I got that audition, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Upper Moon 1! I can't screw this up! But yeah, he's awesome, and I can't wait for you guys to hear more. I had 6 lines of Kokushibo in the movie, and then the subsequent episodes, but I can't wait for season 3, and we'll see what happens. It's gonna be great. Chops on donuts with. And yeah, he's totally scary. That's why he covers it up, man. He doesn't want people to see him because he's ashamed. He's ashamed of his donut-eating ways. But yeah, he's a very scary guy.
Character who's also a huge fan of Digimon. Me and her were just like kind of trying not to cry to each other, like trying to be professional, like trying to do the dubbing, and she was trying to direct me, but we were both just like, this is crazy, right? Yeah, this is crazy. So it's always nice to see like a childhood thing and getting close to like playing a role in something that you watched as a kid. I've done conventions before where I've literally been sat next to people that were in cartoons that I grew up with. I did a convention in Texas a few months ago, and the guy sitting next to me was the voice of Rolf in Ed, Edd n Eddy. And I was just like, oh my god, like what is my life? Like, and he was so lovely, like it's just crazy. So all that kind of stuff, like just getting to like be around the people that I admire and who influenced me in my career is like my favorite things of all. So yeah, that's me. Got a bit emotional there.
Bless you. So mine's a little bit different. My favourite memory of voice acting is when you're not actually speaking, you're doing like the fight noises and stuff like that. So you have to come out with these ridiculous sounds, and like a lot of the characters in Fable, they burp and fart and stuff like that. So you've got to replicate all that. So talking's easy. Like when you've got to come out with like 100 different fight sounds, that's hard. It's like, but it's also very hilarious. So those are the times where I kind of lose my shit. I end up laughing, and then the session could go on longer. So, or they can just flow. But having to fart in 50 different styles and getting paid for it is just hilarious. So, those are my kind of favourite memories. Is just farting.
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that up.
I'm so sorry.
No, for real, for me, it was, it's a character I can't really talk about yet, fully, but I can talk about the story, which is, it's from a project that, whenever I first seen this project, I instantly fell in love with it. I was like, oh, I'd love to be a part of that project, but I'm genuinely just looking forward to it because it's the kind of project I really enjoy. And then I was talking to one of my other clients about this, like, oh, I'd love to try it, but I didn't know I was talking to the casting director for it. And then they're like, oh, we'll throw you some auditions. And I'm like, okay. And then I booked it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll say that, but like I'm looking forward to it.
So this is one of my favorite memories, but for a reason that's not exactly positive. So when I was first starting out, I participated in quite a lot of game jams and visual novel development jam sessions, and these could take place over the course of a month or a week or less. And there was one visual novel that I was asked to be the lead voice actor in, and this was like maybe 2 or 3 years into my career. I hadn't really had a paying job yet. This was not a paying job, but they wanted it to be fully voiced. I had 800 lines to record in 3 days, and that is a lot when you are getting paid for it. When you are not getting paid for it, it's a life lesson. And that one project, I love that project to death, and it is one of my favorite memories. in a formative sense, because it taught me a lot. It gave me a lot of my ethics, what I want to know going forward, what I want to advise people going forward, and it inspired a lot of my career movements and my personal and professional philosophies on how to help other people to not make those kinds of decisions.
That was so serious. Favorite moment, voice acting moment. I had all this time to try to think of something good. And they've all left me. I getting cast in the new Trigun Stampede. That was a great moment that happened recently. I can remember it. I'd gone through this deep depression because I didn't get cast in Chainsaw Man. And I had so many people trying to tell me that I was going to be cast in it. And then when I didn't, I decided I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, and I did open mics in New Zealand, and I got a tattoo. And I was like really convinced I was just going to move on to my stand-up comedy career. It's funny too, because I'm going back to New Zealand in October with the same convention people, and they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, you're coming back. Should we get some comedy clubs lined up for you?" And I don't know how to tell them, like, I went home after that life-changing decision, and I just got over it. I got hyper-fixated on learning how to pick locks, so I did that for a while. And then they booked me for Trigun, and I didn't audition for it or anything. The director was just like, "Hey, there's this character you're gonna play." And it was really fulfilling. And then I went back to theater. So that was my greatest moment as a voice actor. But getting to meet people is also a wonderful, weird part of this. I was at a con one time and Lori Petty kissed me on the mouth without my permission. I think it could be considered assault if you just look at the play-by-play, but I was really grateful for that moment. She was mad at me too. She was doing it in an offensive manner.
I know it's something serious. You didn't have to top it.
I guess that's it.
I'm going to see whether or not I'm going to get back by the time we get to the next question.
Quick, Jonas, quick, go! I'm sure he'll have more than enough time. Yeah, oh my gosh. Oh, okay.
Good. In prison school, if you're familiar with that show, there's a lot of water sports involved. We used to leave a lot of bombs, which is when you'll intentionally record something that is not written and then it gets left in for one of the other actors to hear and hopefully break character during a scene. And I did a lot of those during a show called Prince of Stride. We also redubbed an entire episode called the Bro-isode, where we just added the word bro to every line. And so that's all I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to go pee because Jonah did, so.
Jonah, you started a tsunami. Okay, so in case any of you missed it yesterday, I talked about the concept of scratch audio, which is basically placeholder audio for animation and video games that have yet to be actually recorded by the main cast. And I have done a scratch audio gig for the last 18 months thereabouts for a game called Akimbot, which, check that out, Akimbot. But there's a character in that game coming out, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but he's your typical sort of mad scientist character, and he's a little bit self-aware but self-unaware at the same time, so he'll come in and out of being an evil, megalomaniacal anyway, but, and then every once in a while they'll just have that moment of self-awareness, and just mumble something relevant and extremely real under his breath, and then he'll go straight back up to a 15, and it is just the best kind of feeling to do that turnaround from 15 to 2 to really calm, and then back up to 15!
I think one of the most crazy I've done, there's two crazies. So there's one kind of crazy, which was the Eremite enemy in Genshin, because they were literally like, "Oh, do you know League of Legends?" I'm like, "Yes, I play League of Legends, I'm League and Trash." They're like, "Do you know Jinx?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So everything was recorded as my interpretation of Jinx for that character. The other was a couple of years ago. I was working with, if you remember the YouTuber Dexter Manning, he used to be really, really well known way back in the machinima days. But he made an indie game called Flapatron, and he had a character called Goonarella, and he loves calling everyone Goon, so he called this one character Goonarella. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And the character was entirely screaming, to the point that I worried my mother, who came in from work and could hear me even though I was in my soundproof booth. And she came running up, and I was mid-scream, and she opens the door, and I'm like, ah! And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? So, yeah, I think those are the two craziest I've kind of done, so I love a crazy character.
Man, I've been trying to go through memories in my head of because I have played some pretty crazy characters, and I like doing the monster work. So I like playing demons and stuff like that, but I'm just sitting there thinking about times where I've kind of lost myself, when I've just been laughing so much in the studio. And I think one of the funniest lines was in Fable, and I thought this line is never going to make the game. So they had me saying, I'm going to punch your teeth so hard, you'll have to stick food up your arms to chew it. And I was just in hysterics thinking, they're never going to put this in the game. So, and they had me saying it for 20 minutes, in different ways, and it's, there's many more, but that's the one that jumped out of my memory right then. So, but yeah, that's a hard punch.
Man, I have voiced all manner of utterly insane stuff in my time, really crazy. I literally had a session this week. It was 10 minutes long because I had 3 lines, but it was for an animation, and the character is just this hideous, disgusting monster, kind of like myself really. And I was just sitting there, and it was just 3 lines of just going all this kind of, and then at the end of it we were like, yeah, cool, see you next week, yeah, we're bye, and logged off. So that was pretty fun. I was also in a game where I voiced the main character in a visual novel called Class of '09. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, it's quite niche, but the dialogue in that game is so funny, I'm not even joking. Go on Steam and just play it. Trigger warnings, it's got a lot of themes, but the dialogue is so great, and I couldn't get through sessions without crying with laughter. Some of the stuff that I had to say, if you play it, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, check it out. But yeah, all manner of crazy stuff. So much of it. I can only pick those because I can't remember.
Hey, you made it! Perfect!
Okay, was anyone taking time on that?
That was close. I think it was 2.5 minutes? So I don't get the opportunity to do a lot of comedy, which is something that I kind of want to fix in my career. I'm not really seen as the funny guy character. I'm the samurai or the sexy guy, which it could be worse, but so I don't get a whole lot of opportunities to have fun with the lines, because a lot of the time I'm being seductive or serious or telling the protagonist to go get bent or something, So a lot of my humor comes from doing bomb likes, where I'm just making fun of a line or doing something like that. But I have this strange, because of that, I have to kind of invent my own thing. I have this strange little mission to say SOB in every dub that I try and do in some way, shape, or form. And I've been successful. I want to say in every single one, whether or not I get it in a Walla track or not. I say it in Skate the Infinity, I say it in High Rise Invasion, I say it in B-Stars, I say it in Super Crooks, I say it in, oh my god, I say it a lot in Dying Light 2. I swear so much in Dying Light 2, it's not even funny. So yeah, I have to make my own fun because I'm usually the straight edge serious dude, so I have to, make people believe that I can do comedy. The only comedy that I do is Tatsu, and that comedy comes from playing it straight anyway, so.
Attention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene.
Does a scream count?
Yes.
So, I guess just saying it in plain text would be ah.
I think honestly it was the if you play Genshin, if you play the Archon mission from Sumeru, it's when Hypatia has her breakdown. Where I'm not going to yell that one, but it was definitely fun, to say the least.
To all the people that were queuing with questions, like these guys are in the foyer out there, so they'll happily take your questions. I'm like a border prince. I'm right at the back of the hall on my own, feeling lonely. So if you have any questions for me, I'm over there, they're over there. So what was the question?
What's your favorite line?
My favorite line? You put me off completely. So everything just flew out of my head because that was hilarious. I think my favorite line was when I was doing an indie horror movie called She's Dead, and I'm discussing the disposal of a body, and I just improv the line saying that I'm not going to do anything until I've had a cup of tea. And I sent out the guy that's hired me, because I'm playing like Mr. Clean, who's a cleaner, and so the actor was like looking at me like, what is going on? We're off book. And I just shouted at him to go and make me a cup of tea, and as he was walking out of the door, I went, tea is the fuel of the English worker. And I went, 2 sugars, milky, bring biscuits. And they left it in the movie. So yeah, that's, there's many more, but that one's mine. Thank you.
I don't have anything as great as that. That's brilliant. I've got a lot of favourites, but I think one of the ones I had fun delivering the most was a Mummy Longlegs line where she's just completely unhinged and she's like, I'll tear you apart and eat your insides while you're still alive. And I was just like, damn, that's raw, like, that's crazy. I'm gonna get through this panel, oh my god. But yeah, that was one of my favourites. What about you, Jonah?
I can't say any of my favorite lines on this stage because I absolutely love swearing. I love it. Whenever I get the opportunity, which is why in Dying Light 2 I was just having a field day because they wrote the F word in every other line, and when they didn't, I just kind of put it in there. But yeah, it's just so you can really chew on them. It's really fun to say, and it's really cathartic and it makes you feel good. So yeah. Come back my I can't say it. I had a great time swearing.
YouTuber to promote, but unfortunately I'm old and boring. My website, elsielovelock.com, my YouTube, Elsie Lovelock, just put me in and all my covers come up. It's been so wonderful to have you guys here today. Thank you so much for all your questions. Again, I'm sorry that we couldn't get around to everybody, but like we've said, we will be out there and Julian will be here and we're happy to chat to you, answer any other questions that you didn't get to ask and sign prints. So please do feel free to come up to our tables and yeah, thank you so much.
What they said.
I'm Chloe and what they said. Honestly, yeah. Any questions, anything about getting into voice acting or getting any questions about anything that I've done, you can come and ask it. I've got prints for sale and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Yep, I'm Reece Bridger. Thank you so much for having us. You've been wonderful. Thank you for so many amazing questions. I don't really have a YouTube or a sexy YouTuber to plug, but I do run a casting and voice management studio, so if you have anything that you want to ask me from a casting director's perspective or from a technical perspective, then feel free to come to my table and ask me. I will happily spend the rest of the day telling you what not to do.
Folding. Oh, sorry. Clap, 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 clap. Yeah. Folding Chairs Comedy Troupe. TROUPE. You have to type all 4 of those words in if you want to find us. Right now, we only have 391 subscribers to our YouTube channel. I want to see this hit 400 by the end of the day. Watch our videos. We do this one video that comes up every other week where we improv. It's a cold read comedy where somebody writes.
Relax. Go find these guys. Go to their tables. And we'll be back soon with the next performance.